Atlanta with Game 3 of this 4-game series, and the Southern California native Max Fried will make the start for the Braves as the Dodgers try to take the first 3 of this series. Sitting at 5-3 on this road trip so far, and 15-7 in the month of July. Take a look at the lineup brought to you by 76. With the left-hander on the mound, Chris Taylor's back at the top, and then Manny Machado at third base sitting second. Matt Kemp's in left field tonight. Kike Hernandez batting cleanup and roaming center field. Cody Bellinger plays first base and hits fifth. Logan Forsythe, his first start of this series. Puig off for the DL, first game for him since early July. And Austin Barnes does the catching. Max Fried out of Encino Little League, and then Montclair Prep for his first 3 seasons of high school before finishing off at Harvard Westlake. It's been back and forth between the majors and the minors this season, and tonight Nomar his 8th big league game this year.
Yeah, looking at his 4th start of the season, but this is the first time he will be facing the Dodgers. He hasn't faced anybody in other parts during other times in this lineup. But you look at, he's coming off the DL, dealing with some blister issues. But his last start before the DL, pitched against Milwaukee. He gave up 4 earned runs on just 3 innings pitched. But if you go from the start right before that against St. Louis, he went over 6 innings and didn't allow an earned run. Very tough on lefties, small sample size, but they're hitting way under 200 against him.
And so Dave Roberts chooses to put just one of them in the lineup tonight, giving Max Muncy a day of rest. Dodgers winning game 1 8-2. Winning game 2 4-1. They've won 4 of the 5 against Atlanta this year. Fried through his wind, and off we go with Taylor fouling off the first pitch of the night. Chris sitting above 300 on this road trip. 8 RBIs in the 8 games. '24-year-old Fried kicks and deals 0-1 and misses. 1 ball 1 strike. And Fried grew up a die-hard Dodger fan, and he said he was going to do his best to treat this just like any other start. But it's got to be an added rush of excitement pitching against those Dodger uniforms. He's outside, and it's 2-1.
Of course it is. Definitely excited. Face the team that you cheered for growing up. You know, everybody back home is watching too, because I'm sure your family and friends are Dodger fans as well. And throws a good changeup. And if you're wondering what he features, he's got a fastball. He's got a really good curveball. His fastball hovers around the low 90s, can get up to 93, 94 miles an hour. Really good curveball, changeup, slider.
With a pause in the delivery, now home with a 2-2, and it's gone full on Taylor. It's a guy that was drafted 7th overall in 2012. That was by the Padres, and then was acquired by the Braves in the Justin Upton deal in 2014. Second year with major league time now after getting 9 games last year. Home with a payoff, and he gets Taylor swinging with a fastball that hits 95 for the first out of the night. Closed captioning tonight brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. And up to the plate comes Manny Machado. 2 for 5 last night, and the on-base streak now 27 games, which is the best of his career. He settles in, and here comes Fried. 1 ball, no strikes. Machado with his first home run as a Dodger in the opener of this series, and then the 2 hits last night. Here on a 1-0 pitch, he takes ball 2. It's been a pretty good first week for him in Dodger blue. Talking with Dave Roberts before the game today. He said that the exciting part for him is that Matty's not even shown his best yet. And the numbers would tell you that. Even as good as he's looked, not put up the same kind of line that he did in Baltimore for the first 3.5 months. So plenty more to come.
In the first week, it's just getting acclimated, getting used to new teammates, new team, new environment. This is the first time he's ever been traded or put on a different uniform in his big league career.
Swings away at a 3-0, 3-1.
And despite if the numbers aren't there, and you just touched on it, he's fit in quite well and has still left an impression and an impact over the course of this road trip for the Dodgers.
And it's not that the numbers by any stretch are bad, right? There they are on this trip. One of the top offensive players in baseball this year. And on a 3-1 pitch, he takes a perfectly placed fastball, 3-2.
This just catches the corner, bottom of the zone. The pitch cast might have shown it a little bit low, but it was still a good pitch by Fried.
Who struck out Chris Taylor with a fastball and now comes home to Machado with a 3-2 and gets him swinging as well at 95.
He climbs the ladder. They were looking for that ball up and in. Didn't get it in, but he got it up in the zone. I don't know if it's weird. It was interesting how the catcher just kind of dropped that and he tagged him. But Machado looked back at the home plate umpire right after that. I don't know if he might have been asking him, did I foul it off? Or if he was asking him if it was a strike that he swung at. A lot of times, first at bat, you want to know the zone. Like, okay, gave him low. Did I just go after one too high? Maybe you're looking more low and calling that more than you are the high pitch.
Starts Kemp with a curve. Our first look at that pitch. Strike one. It's a curve that he tried to model after Sandy Koufax's curve. Watching videos of that as a kid. Wrote a report on Sandy Koufax when he was in 5th grade. Got an A on it. And then wore number 32 in high school because of Sandy. Fried to Kemp with a 1-1 pitch. Out in front of a change, 1-2.
Early on, you haven't seen him, so you know the scouting reports, and they're talking about, okay, fastball, curveball, predominantly might go to the occasional change and slider. He's been going to that changeup, have been really effective with it.
97.
Once again, you look at scouting reports, you're going, he's averaging 93 miles an hour with the fastball. It gets up to 97. You're going, huh, he might be a little off, or he's really amped up.
2-2. Kemp flies it to center. Inciarte to the warning track. Inning over. Max Fried with a 1-2-3 first. Alex Wood to the mound when you come back. By 76, the rookie Ronald Acuna Jr. to lead things off, and then Ozzie Albies getting the night off, and so Charlie Culberson bats second and plays second. The All-Stars, Freeman and Markakis at 3 and 4. Flowers catches, Camargo at third, and center Inciarte and the shortstop Dansby Swanson. Alex Wood his last time 2 runs over 6 innings against Milwaukee, and now his last 7 starts 5-0 with a sub-3 ERA.
Trying to build off that and trying to follow up 2 great performances by Rich Hill and Clayton Kershaw the last couple of games. We talked about his last 7 starts going 5-0, looking really good, but he's had a little bit of trouble against his former team in the Braves, where he's faced them. He's got a record of 1 and 3 with an ERA over 6. But on the positive side, that 1 win he has against his former team did come here last year at SunTrust Park.
With his only start here, of course, before that everything was at Turner Field. It's ahead of Acuna 1 and 2. He's traded to the Dodgers in 2015. Wood was. He's given up more walks and hits per innings against the Braves than any other team. That's the 1-2 fly, and it evens at 2 and 2. Seven shutout innings, Rich Hill on Thursday night. 7 2/3 from Kershaw last night. And now it's Alex Wood, whose 2-2 pitch gets Acuna looking for the first out.
This was a great pitch by Alex Wood. Spotted that fastball. Look at on PitchCast where he just dots this ball right on the corner. Perfect pitch. That's exactly where Austin Barnes wanted it. If he can command top part of the zone, and he doesn't have to go up there often, but command it and show it, then it opens up the bottom part where he is really successful.
First one to Culberson is to the bottom of the zone for a strike. Yeah, last year when Alex Wood had his career season, was an all-star for the first time, he pretty much lived at the bottom of the zone at will. On 16 and 3 with a 2.72. Ahead of Culberson, 0 and 2. Ball 1. Culberson's been really good for the Braves. Coming over in a trade from the Dodgers this offseason. Same one that sent Matt Kemp to LA. Started the first game of the series off of the bench last night. He's 0 for 5. Here it's 2 and 2. Culberson's worked it full.
And there's a few guys in this Braves lineup that have faced Alex Wood and have had some success against him. Obviously, that man right there on deck seems like he's had success against a lot of pitchers. But Culberson, and it's a short sample size, he's 2 for 3 against Alex Wood.
Hooks one towards the left field corner. Culberson hits it off the wall. Kemp able to play the carom. A 1-out double for Culberson. He just barely misses getting it out of here.
Well, despite being out in front for the timing on this pitch, Culberson's able to stay back enough. You see how he kind of had to reach out for that. stayed behind it enough, barreled it up enough, and just misses a home run to left field.
So a man in scoring position in a scoreless first inning, and here is Freddie Freeman. Strike one. Freeman 6 for 11 with a home run against Wood. And you're talking about the whole lineup having guys that have hit Wood well. The position players on this roster combined are hitting .397 against Wood.
And this is one area where Wood has struggled this season. The runners in scoring position, the batting average against being around his .312.
That one got a piece of the bat, and it's 0-2. It's also been the area that's been the biggest change positively for him as things have started to go right.
And you're talking about the last 7 starts, definitely. I mean, yeah, that's over the course of this season. Runners in scoring position, but has gotten better over the last 7 starts. Talking about being 5-0. It's definitely improved in those situations.
There are those numbers we're talking about. Ahead of Freeman, 0-2. Here it comes. Ball one. Freddie Freeman, 28 years old. All-star for the 3rd time this year. Able to stay alive. 8th season as an everyday big leaguer, and as the Braves rebuild this thing, he's kind of the proverbial cornerstone of the whole thing. Under contract through 2021. Largest contract ever signed by a Brave. One on, one out, and another throw to second.
Why not? Why not try it a couple of times? You have your shortstop right behind second base, so it's an easy look.
Gets Freeman swinging. Not easy to do. 2 gone.
And another reason to try a couple of times because of that man at home plate, Freddie Freeman. But he does an excellent job to climb the top of the zone. That's how he was able to get Acuna looking. It was at the top of the zone. That one was up above it, ball, but able to get him swinging.
And so a 2 out in this first inning. It's up to another all-star, Nick Markakis. The 34-year-old has reached in 14 games in a row and has more hits than any other player in the National League this year. Wood's first pitch is fouled off, 0-1. Markakis 2 for 4 in last night's game. You know, the Braves #2 in the National League, scoring just under 5 runs per game, but the Dodgers have held them to 3 runs in the first 2 games combined.
You got great starting pitching performances from Rich Hill, Clayton Kershaw. He did a good job against this lineup that the top part of the lineup getting on Acuna and Albies. Now Albies not in there today, but to hold those guys, getting them off the bases, because Freddie Freeman and your heart of your lineup, these guys coming through, it's really been the key, I think, to the success over the first 2 games of the series.
On a 1-1 pitch, Markakis watches it dip low, and it's 2-1. Alex Wood trying to pitch around the 1-out double from Charlie Culberson. 27-year-old from Charlotte, not just a former Brave, but played his college ball in Georgia for the Bulldogs. That's fly to center field. Kike Hernandez there tonight. Alex Wood puts up a 0 in the first. Off and rolling in Atlanta. No score after 1. Efficient he was, but then he gets to the end of it and he's racked up 8 Ks. So you get all this early contact, but at the end of the night he's still got a very impressive strikeout column too,
and especially against a team that doesn't strike out a lot in the Braves. So racked up the 8 Ks, and I thought when you were saying the most impressive thing was the fact that he got on base 4 times, got 2 RBIs, got a hit. He's 1 for 1 with 3 walks. And he got the big hit, I think, for the game with the 2 RBIs. I think that was the biggest hit of the game. Yeah, you had a couple of home runs, but 2 out RBIs down the line gave him that 4-run lead.
Hernandez starting the second against Fried, who's 1-0. It is low, and it's 2-0. I'm sure you've seen some of the things, the historical things about his night last night. We mentioned that it was the first time in his career that he'd reached 4 times. What we didn't know at the time is that it was the first time that any pitcher in baseball had reached 4 times in a game in 8 years. Hernandez with a line drive base hit to left. Acuna trying to hold him to a single, and Will Hernandez back to the bag. A leadoff single here in the second.
Well, Kike hustling right out of the box. He was thinking double, knowing that Acuna had to go a long way to get to that ball. So he was hustling. He took a big round turn so he can get a good view, and got to give Acuna credit. He did an excellent job getting that ball back. See if that play out there factors in. That was a nice play out there in left field.
Brings up Cody Bellinger in a scoreless second. Strike 1. I guess the more you think about it, it's not that shocking that it's been that long since a pitcher's done that, because not too often does a pitcher get 4 ABs in a game anymore. But still 8 years since anybody's done it. Mike Leake, Cincinnati Reds in 2010. 0-2.
And then you really do a deep dive, getting on 4 times and walking 3 times. So that was also impressive by Clayton Kershaw.
Only time that's ever happened from a Dodger pitcher. Ever. A hit and 3 walks. A ball and 2 strikes. The man on the mound tonight. We talked about him modeling his curve after old videos of Sandy Koufax. He's tried to model his style and his temperament after Clayton Kershaw. Bellinger barely gets a piece of that big curve, and it's still 1-2.
Bellinger just missed it. It looked like he recognized that pitch early. Just fouls it off.
Free with another 1-2, and this one hits Bellinger. They asked down to third to see if there was a swing. There wasn't. So Bellinger's going to get first, but the immediate concern is where exactly that hit him. He says thumb.
We have another look. Is the ball up? Just oof, right on the hands. Like off his fingers, right?
He said thumb.
No.
Yeah,
there it is. Oh.
He says he's good to go, and he'll stay in the game. First and second, nobody out. And Forsythe to the plate for his first at-bat of this series. Off to a good start on this road trip with 4 hits in Milwaukee. Only a couple of at-bats in Philadelphia. And now his first start of this series. One ball, no strikes.
We know the struggles that Logan Forsythe has had this season. When you get in this situation, when you have a man on first and second, this is one of those times where obviously you're thinking about going the other way. You're trying to find a way to move those guys over. But you yourself as a hitter just think, okay, what's your confidence right now feeling at the plate?
Line drive center field right at Inciarte, who's got it for the first out. Here's a throw to third. Off of Hernandez, who springs to his feet and hangs on. Bellinger will take second. Camargo's shaken up.
Before Logan Forsythe had the great approach, that's exactly what I was talking about. You're thinking about staying inside. He ends up putting a good swing, driving it to center field. Kike really forcing the issue, forcing them to have to make a play by tagging up. Tell you, a good throw might have got him, but it ends up hitting Kike in the back. And Camargo doesn't get hurt from the throw. He gets hurt from the slide by Kike once he puts that knee down, leg down, and that's exactly how you're supposed to go in there by Kike, just going in, sliding in hard with his feet, and that clips Camargo. And he gets him square in the back. And that miscue allows Cody Bellinger to move to second.
And that is ruled an E6. allowing Bellinger to advance. And so Yasiel Puig's first at bat off of the DL comes with runners at second and third. And he wastes no time hitting a high liner to right that'll bring home the game's first run. Yasiel Puig with an RBI sacrifice fly, and the Dodgers lead it 1-0.
That's what happens with the hustle by Kike Hernandez. Running on that ball to center field. And it also, Logan Forsythe, taking the right approach, driving it, hitting a deep fly ball to center field, thinking about going the other way. Yasiel Puig, that was a nice swing. You notice it wasn't a big swing, recognizing I just need to get the ball in the air, stayed inside that ball nicely.
Bellinger took third. And with 2 out, Austin Barnes takes strike 1.
It's not surprising that swing from Yasiel Puig. The reason I say that is watching him at batting practice, standing behind the cage. I was standing with Turner Ward, and he was just spitting out situations. Man on third base, 1 out. Man on first and second. Man on second base, nobody out. Move him over. And they were just, the whole team was executing. But Yasiel Puig, though, really was driving the ball well, staying inside the ball. And I said, wow, it's not pulling off, just staying inside and driving. It's like, yeah, it looks good. And you saw it right there.
Funny how that works, huh?
Yeah. Just can't turn it on. You got to practice it.
Fried's 0-2. Curve misses. Ball 1. Barnes 1 for 8 on this trip so far. It is hard right now for Dave Roberts to give Yasmani Grandal days off for the way that he's swinging it. The taxing nature of that position. Dave Roberts still finding ways to get Barnes in there, get Grandal off his feet with a day game coming tomorrow. Takes off 2-2. Down the middle with a fastball. Barnes looks at it, and the inning comes to an end. But the Dodgers get the first run on a sac fly from Puig. Dodgers baseball is brought to you by the Southern California BMW Centers. Hurry in today for the BMW Summer On Sales event for exceptional offers. Details at SoCalBMW.com. And by Carl's Jr. Back in Atlanta, the Dodgers have given Alex Wood the early lead on a sacrifice fly from Yasiel Puig. And Wood to face 5, 6, and 7 here in the second.
Thought the Dodgers did a good job with regards to situational hitting and good base running in order to get that run in the last inning. Now up to Alex Wood to kind of have that shutdown inning, but it's got some work ahead of him. And he's faced Flowers, where Flowers has had some success against Wood. 7 for 11 with 8 RBIs versus Alex Wood.
That's one of those random ones, right? It's not surprising to see a guy like Freddie Freeman with good numbers against whoever the pitcher is, but Flowers not somebody you think of right away when you think of a dominant offensive player. Although he did have a huge year last year. And now 32 years old in his 10th year in the majors. He takes it inside and it's 1-1. Big turnaround offensively for Flowers in his career has been the addition of a leg kick, really on a whim one day. He was scuffling and thought to himself, what do I have to lose? Made the decision to add a leg kick while he was in the on-deck circle before an at-bat. He went up there, employed it on the first pitch that he saw, and crushed a line drive home run. He said that it changed his life. Hitting was fun again for him. Baseball fun again.
Well, sometimes what happens is you do something different, you're not thinking, and now you just let your athleticism take over because you're so busy. Sometimes you're standing on the index circle, you're struggling, you're thinking, where are my hands placed? Okay, how's my stride? What's my timing? Am I bringing my hands back properly? You have 3 to 4 different thoughts in your heads, and you're just going, well, I'm just going to think about my leg kick. That's all I'm thinking about, and let everything else fall into place.
Full count. It's often easy to make golf comparisons with a baseball swing, and that would be a swing thought, right? Your swing thought is I'm going to lift my leg.
Right.
Not thinking about all the finer details to it. On a 3-2, Flowers takes ball 4 to start the inning with a walk.
MLB.TV is now available at a lower price. For $82.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer.
Leadoff man aboard, and here's Johan Camargo. Been one of their best hitters over the last month or so. After a slow start to this, his second year in the majors. You know, the Braves are 5-12 in their last 17 games. Prior to this stretch, they had a 3.5 game lead in the division. They had the best record in the National League. Now Brian Snitker's bunch finds itself 2.5 back. But it goes way back beyond just the 5-12 stretch. That's particularly bad. That's a ground ball right side. Forsythe ranges to it, spins and throws to get Camargo for the first out of the inning. Yeah, you're going to want to break that one down. We'll get back to the Braves talk in a sec.
This was a great play by Logan Forsythe. Ranging far to his left. And that's one thing, despite maybe the struggles he's had at the plate, as we look at our Carl's cam, it is not carried over to the defense. Ranging farther than spin around. And watch at the very end, Cody Ballinger recognizing also, he had his baseball clock on, recognizing the play and the runner, so he knows he can actually go up the line and make sure he catches that ball, follow it, see behind the bag, and then knows he has to get out of the way in a hurry.
Flowers to second, and it's Inciarte with 1 out. He grounds one to Forsythe as well. Inciarte really a good runner, so Forsythe had to get rid of it quickly. Flowers to third, 2 out. And just to wrap up that thought on the Braves, while it's glaring the last few weeks, this 5-12 run, they're going to put Swanson on and bring the pitcher up. You know, you go back 2.5 months, they're below 500 over the last 2.5 months.
And we were talking about day one whether this team had more staying power than the Phillies as they're going down the stretch to battle it. And it also, I think, says a lot here about Atlanta. They're talking about going toward the trade deadline. They're going to be making improvements and changing that so they can change that narrative as far as how they've been struggling. They're thinking about needing some starting pitching, maybe a veteran starting pitching to really just kind of settle them and understand, because they're young over there in their starting pitching, to carry them through. Same thing with their bullpen.
But then the question becomes, do you do that this year? Right? And it's 0-2 on Fried. They are unquestionably ahead of schedule. And so it becomes a question that Alex Anthopoulos, who came from the Dodgers to run the Braves, general manager here now, question that he didn't figure he'd have to answer this quickly. Is it time to go for it? Puts it in play, but an easy play. And Alex Wood able to pitch around the leadoff walk. He's got a 1-0 lead through 2. Spotlight. These are the deals that went official yesterday. Mike Moustakas from the Royals to the Brewers. Dodgers will see him beginning on Monday for a 4-game series at Dodger Stadium. And then the other move on there, obviously impactful when you're talking Dodgers. Eduardo Escobar is having a huge season for the Twins. He's now an Arizona Diamondback.
Yeah, I think those are good pickups for both of those teams. And Escobar is going to help that D-backs lineup, give it some depth, and for sure. And then when you look at the Brewers, I think a major factor in there is the fact that they are headed to the Dodgers for another 4, and especially the way the Dodgers played over there in Milwaukee. Going, listen, if we're going to make a trade, let's get it. As we know, we're going to have 4 with those Dodgers. If we're going to make a trade that's going to make us better, and then if it's going to be a player that's going to be playing every day, we want them in the lineup against the Dodgers.
Alex Wood to lead off this inning against Max Fried. That's inside ball 1. The first lineup with Moustakas in it has Travis Shaw playing second base, because remember, Shaw is the third baseman and is having a pretty decent year. Just the market didn't shake out the way Milwaukee had wanted. They wanted a middle infielder, couldn't come to a deal with one. So they're going to make do. And Shaw's playing the middle infield for the first time since he played shortstop in high school. Strike one. As far as Escobar goes, leading baseball in doubles, second in the majors in extra base hits. Really going to bolster that Arizona lineup. 2-2 on Wood. What do you think of the Hamels to the Cubs deal?
Well, I think it made them better. I think what they were also thinking is getting a veteran pitcher like Hamels, who also pitches well down the stretch and also into the postseason. And I think the Cubs were also looking at him for that reason, believing they're going to be in that postseason and want somebody with that experience and knows how to handle that. And we know Cole Hamels can do that.
Taylor with one out in a 1-0 game. You know, the Cubs this offseason, to Darvish, Chatwood, and Drew Smyly, invested $174 million. That's ball one. Tyler Chatwood today moved to the bullpen. Leads baseball in walks. Yu Darvish hasn't pitched in months, and when he was pitching, he wasn't good. And Drew Smyly yet to pitch, coming back from Tommy John. $174 million to those three guys. And that is why the Cubs found themselves, after coming into the year, saying, man, we got a rotation that might be the best in baseball, to needing to go get Cole Hamels. Here's the 1-1. There's strike two.
Yeah, it's a crazy game where you're thinking in the offseason and you look at things on paper and you go, wow, he looks great on paper. We all know funny things could happen over the course of the season.
Two and two.
I mean, look at the Dodgers. Right, the Dodgers, look, they're going pretty solid starting rotation opening day. 4 of those guys are going to go on the DL, and one all at the same time.
You just never know. It's why they play the games, right? Taylor watches one just miss, and it's full.
On pitch cast, that looks like a perfect pitch that he didn't get the call.
The 3-2. Taylor hits a hard ground ball, base hit into center. Second Dodger hit of the night, and a 1-out base runner against Fried.
Well, you think you make the perfect pitch, and then the next one you miss your spot over the middle, and CT3 doing an excellent job staying on it and taking it back up the middle.
1 on, 1 out, and here's Machado. Fried was able to strike him out with a fastball at 97 his first time. There had been some talk that the Washington Nationals were considering turning into a seller, depending on what happened in their series with the Marlins this weekend. But Washington's won 3 in a row. So leaning back away from selling, you would assume, with that run. One and one.
The Dodgers aren't getting Harper.
Manny even thought it was funny. Here's a throw from Flowers that won't get Taylor. 2-1 on Machado. If you were Mike Rizzo, general manager of the Nationals, and it continued to sit right around here, right around 500 for the next few days. Say they split their next 4 games. They sit 6 games out of first. Would you entertain offers for Harper?
I think I would.
Contracts up at the end of the year, obviously.
That's something you definitely, well, there's no question he's listening to him, that's for sure.
Taylor breaks for second, and he's going to get it easily.
I mean, knowing that he's going to be a free agent, of course you have to entertain them and listen to him, for sure. And where they're sitting, and then trust that other guys are going to help you. Going to make the postseason, going to get you there if you can make yourself better, not only just this year, but in the years to come, too.
So Taylor into scoring position and a 3-1 count on Machado. Fried delivers, and Machado takes it in the dirt for ball 4. First and second, 1 out. The real question is, would you actually do a deal if you were Mike Rizzo? Would you actually pull the trigger on trading Bryce Harper? Say they lose their next 4. Okay, and they're 8 games out.
Like I said, I mean, it's easy to say yes, but you have to see what's really offering, what they're really going to be able to get in return. And that's something you have to weigh. And they're obvious, and that's an obvious answer because they're always weighing that. I know that. But
a few interesting relief pieces potentially if the Nationals became sellers too.
I know that the rumors out there, the Dodgers had made calls regarding Bryce Harper. I know that's been written, and that's why I was chuckling about the Dodgers. But I think there's just more than just Bryce Harper when they're making calls, because you're right, they do have some relief, and they're keeping an eye on what they're doing over there.
First and second for Kemp with the Dodgers in front 1-0 here in the 3rd. He takes ball 1. Kemp flied to center his first time. Matt looking for his first hit since Monday. Flies this one to right. Markakis. So he has room. 2 gone. Hernandez has scored the Dodgers' lone run in this game after starting the second with a single, and here he is with 2 on and 2 out in the 3rd. Ball 1. Curve lands for a strike and evens the count up. On this 1-1, Hernandez, it's a ground ball to 3rd. Camargo to the bag, and the inning is over. To the bottom of the 3rd. The Dodgers 1, the Braves 0.
Dodgers go behind the scenes as Manny Machado joins the team in Milwaukee for his Dodgers debut. Plus, Chase Utley says farewell to Philly in his final appearance at Citizens Bank Park. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers presented by Cadillac Friday after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
Ball on Acuna. Did you enjoy Anibal Sanchez and Ozzie Albies taking part in the Simba cam?
I did, and I was surprised and I'm shocked that the stadium cam didn't show them doing that.
Yeah.
On the big screen here, because that would have just had this crowd erupt.
Well, because Acuna was getting ready to hit to start the inning, Albies was the right guy to hold up, right? The child that is presenting to the kingdom. 20-year-old was going up to hit, so he grabbed the 21-year-old. Quite a duo, those two, and very close friends. Bettina Shore, our producer, says Acuna Matata.
Acuna, well played.
Wow, that's good.
How about that? Was it Anibal Sanchez? Was he the one behind him holding him up, or acting like he was holding him up?
So Rafiki Sanchez.
There you go.
Wood back home with a 2-2, and that hits him. Ouch.
Ooh. Listen to this. Listen to this. They got him right in the shin, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it hit right above that pad.
Right.
He'll walk that pain off and be at first base to open this third against Wood, who has walked 2 and now hit 1. Here's Culberson.
It's twice the Braves have been able to get the leadoff runner on base the last couple of innings. That last inning, the second leadoff walk to Flowers, and now hit by pitch.
And now ball 1. On the Georgian native. We talked about it the other night, but very cool thing for Charlie to be able to, if he was going to be traded, have it be to the team that he grew up cheering for, coming to games watching. Pulls a grounder to third that Machado stabs with a backhand to start a 5-4-3 double play.
This was a rocket, and Machado made it look way too easy as we have a look at our Volkswagen replay. Just so calm over there. Knew he had time, makes a perfect throw, whips it over to Forsythe. That second. Didn't even take a step, just kind of leaned over there, fielded it. Well, I don't even think he moved his feet even after they threw the ball around. Just kind of stayed there, waited for the ball.
Freddie Freeman. Perfectly placed, strike 1. And taking a look at Acuna's leg. And Machado just so cool, so smooth. It's grounded foul, and it's 0-2. It has at times in his career been confused for like laziness or too much of a nonchalance. But for guys like him, it's just so easy. And they make it look easy.
Well, a lot of times too, when you're relaxed, you're right. They use those terms to say that, but when you're relaxed, your hands have a tendency to be softer. When you're tense, like anything, and you're thinking, especially with your backhand, The backhand, I always say it's the last thing. You get there with your feet, and the last thing you do is then you throw out your hand, because your hand has a tendency to be softer than it does when if you say you're running out with your hand out as you're preparing a backhand. So a lot of times when you see like Machado that makes it look just so easy, there's a calmness and easiness to try to have you relax so your hands can be softer when you're fielding the ball. Easier said than done.
Sure. It's a rare blend he's got of this inner burning competitiveness to be the very best at everything that he does, with the ability to have this cool and calm exterior. 2-2 on Freeman. Incredible drive inside, laid back outside. Tries to lay off and does. Full count.
Did the right thing. They checked. They asked the third base umpire, and he did hold up.
Fly the other way for Matt Kemp. He's got it, and the inning is over. Back-to-back innings with the leadoff man reaches, but Wood pitches around it.
Time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile, and happy 24th birthday to Walker Buehler. 24 years young, but already done a lot in his career. Drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 14th round of the 2012 draft, then drafted in the first round by the Dodgers in the 2015 MLB amateur draft. Walker Buehler, of course, has already gone through Tommy John surgeries, but he's put that way behind him. Happy 24th, a great young right arm, guys, with a promising future ahead.
No question about it. Yeah, we echo that. Happy birthday to Walker. As Cody Bellinger leads off this fourth for the Dodgers. A 1-0 game against Max Fried and the Braves. Walker set to go again early on in the series against the Brewers. Ball on a strike on Bellinger, who has hit his first time. He leads off this inning against the Southern California kid. Born in Santa Monica and then played in Encino Little League. Mentioned that he's developed his style, his mound presence, tried to emulate Clayton Kershaw. He loves the bulldog mentality that Kershaw has, and the fact that he attacks with every pitch. It's got to make Clayton feel a little bit old, though, that he's now getting guys pitching in the majors who said they came up emulating him. I think Joey Lucchesi in San Diego talks about the same thing. When you think about it, when Kershaw made his debut, Fried had just turned 14. Here's 1-2 upstairs.
It's going to happen when you spend 10 years in the big leagues.
You remember when you first had guys reach the majors telling you that you were their guy?
Yeah. And I felt old.
Yeah. Big curve, swings and misses, 1 out.
We had one where we were gathered around as veterans. We're talking to young guys as we see this curveball that we talked about, the big curveball by Fried, one of his top go-to pitches that put people away. They were standing around, they were talking about when they were young. The other veteran was asking young guys, like, who was your favorite player growing up? And they were going around, and then one was kind of just embarrassed and wouldn't say, and I was like, oh no.
Is that when you knew you were old?
And I knew, and I was like, oh. And he was like, yeah, when he was 8. And I was like, oh, when you were 8. And I was like, yeah, that's great.
Strike 1 on Logan Forsythe.
I was like, can you say, like, when you were older? You didn't have to tell me when you was really.
Age.
Yeah, exactly.
You remember who that player was?
Yeah, I don't want to embarrass him. Or myself.
0-2. We're all dying to know who wanted to be Nomar when they were 8. Who didn't, really?
No. A lot.
On an 0-2. Forsythe watches the curve drop in there for strike 3, and Fried has used it for back-to-back Ks to open the 4th.
Well, that's a big 12-6 breaking ball. And when that starts out of his zone, you can see how high, and it's easy for a hitter to just give up on it, especially when you haven't seen it for the first time. You know, yeah, you're watching video, and then you're watching and you're looking at scouting reports, but it's a lot different than when you're actually facing it, seeing it, because you don't know exactly where that sight line is, but you still, to make sure you don't give up on the ball. If you recognize that sight, like, oh, he just missed it, that's going to be out of the zone, and not recognizing that it has such a big break. Even when it's that high, a lot of times when they're that high, they don't even break as much. If they keep it down, you have a sharper break. So usually they stay up like that. The one from Logan almost started off that way and still came and found the strike zone. So that takes an adjustment of understanding a guy when you see him over time to set your sight line.
On a 1-1 offering, Yasiel Puig makes the curve up along the line, 1-2.
And that was different right there. We saw the two different ones. You saw the one that was a ball, but it was up high in the zone. And that one, just notice how it was lower, and it started off at the top of the zone, and how far that broke and really went down, and Yasiel staying alive on that one.
Fried to Puig, 1-2. Ball 2. Yasiel with his first dance since returning. Shatters his bat, makes the play to finish a 1-2-3-4. To the bottom half we go. Dodgers in front, 1-0.
The 2017 season was memorable for All-Star pitcher Alex Wood, and now you can add him to your Dodger bobblehead collection. On July 31st, when the Dodgers host the Milwaukee Brewers at 7:10, the first 40,000 fans will receive an Alex Wood bobblehead presented by Emirates. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
That'll be game 2 against the Brewers this week. 6-game homestand. Dodgers facing the Brewers for 4, or 7-game homestand. Brewers for 4 and the Astros for 3. Part of the order, Nick Markakis starts this 4th and takes strike 1 from Wood. Ball, 1 strike. Before Alex Wood's junior year of high school, he wasn't getting a ton of interest from colleges, and at that point it's still early. But Alex decided to send a couple dozen college programs that he had interest in emails and just let them know that he was out there. That's a nice pitch, 1-2. One of the programs that responded was Georgia. The head coach at the time, his name was David Perno, recognized that Alex's mechanics, which pretty darn similar to what they are now, that they were untraditional, a little bit strange. Just misses, 2-2, and said Alex didn't look like the most athletic guy at the time, but when he came and watched him pitch that junior year, said there was just something about the way that he worked when he was out there. Became a quiet assassin, Dave Perno said, when he stepped on the mound. Markakis went around, and he's a strikeout to open the 4th. And Wood is right. That's what you see. You see a quiet assassin out there.
You do, and it's once again, we also say when he's right, staying down in the zone. Not only do you get the swings and misses down in the zone off Alex Wood, but when you do make contact, it's usually soft contact on the ground. Gets the ball out of the air.
His 3rd K tonight, and here's Tyler Flowers. It's hard even to really describe what that looks like, but I think most Dodger fans probably know exactly what we're talking about when we talk about him looking like a quiet assassin when he's locked in. For much of last season, he had that look about him. Worked with great tempo. Another way to put it, kind of a bulldog. It's 1-1. And has shown more of those characteristics in this recent stretch. 5-0 in his last 7 games. Earned run average below 3. After a 3-game stretch, it was the worst of his life. It's popped foul, and it's 1-2. Not just with the Dodgers, not just this season, but worst stretch he's ever had as a pitcher over 3 games. And he said it's only natural at that point that you start to question yourself. It's hard to have that same bulldog mentality on the mound.
One thing about Alex Wood, not just the mentality, but there's a confidence that he has, and he believes in himself. You know, I say this all the time: to be successful in the batter's box and to be successful on the mound, first thing is to have confidence in your ability when you step out there.
Two and two on Flowers. Flowers walked his first time, and here he's worked the full count. Camargo waiting on deck. Second walk that he's taken. And up comes Camargo. Ball one. One of the names that was thrown around here as far as the trade deadline goes was Mike Moustakas. Camargo doesn't have to worry about that anymore with him going to the Brewers. Ball on a strike. Well placed, 1-2.
That's the place. Alex Wood can stay right there, down and away, catching the corner. It sets up for that swing and miss breaking ball because he starts that low, and after getting those calls down there, you can't lay off of it as a hitter.
One on, one out, and a 1-2. Rolled to short. Could be two. There's one and two. The second double play in the last two innings, induced by Alex Wood. Is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Now with easy summer savings, get a great deal on a bold new Toyota Camry. Back in Atlanta, where they are sold out again tonight. Great environment here at SunTrust Park. And a great night for baseball. Joe Davis, Nomar Garciaparra, and Alana Rizzo. Dodgers getting the lone run of this game in the second inning on a sacrifice fly from Yasiel Puig. And here in the fifth, sending 8, 9, and 1 to the plate. Barnes took strike three, caught on a fastball his first time. It's one of the 6 Ks for Fried. Entered the year a top 100 prospect in all of baseball. Back and forth between the bigs and the minors. making his 4th start for the big league Braves tonight. The curve is low and it's 1-0. Mentioned Harvard Westlake product. How about the rotation he was part of when he was a senior there? I mean, they've always had good teams and nationally ranked teams. So it's 1-1. He was part of a rotation with Lucas Giolito, who's now in the White Sox system and big league rotation, and Jack Flaherty, who's a pitcher for St. Louis now. Fried and Giolito 2 years ahead of Flaherty. All three still very close friends. They still work out together during the off seasons. And Giolito's getting married this off season. Fried and Flaherty are groomsmen in the wedding. But can you imagine having to face those three as a high school kid? 3-1.
What do we have today, Coach? Well, they only throw 3 guys. And all of them are good. So get your bat and get to swinging. How's that for advice?
Barnes starting the 5th with a walk. Second free pass issued by Fried. First time Dodgers have seen him. What have you thought first time through?
I tell you, they were telling us and looking at scout reports that he averaged in the low 90s with his fastball, like 93. Just getting it up there at 97. There's some real life to his fastball. And I do agree with that curveball. He does have a really big break, and it's a big sharp break on his curveball. It's one thing to have a big break, but you can have a big break that you can see, recognize, and it's kind of loopy. This isn't a loopy break. This is a good 12-6 curveball. And even they talk about his secondary pitches maybe not being as good like his changeup, but early on his changeup has been really effective, and I think it's a really solid one. I think it's going to improve too.
Wood lays down a nice bunt. Freeman throws him out, but Barnes moves into scoring position. Pitchers continuing to get it done with a bat in this series. Third time through now. Here's Chris Taylor. Ball one.
Well, the Dodgers so far 0 for 4 runners in scoring position in this game, and that's where Fried has done an excellent job with runners in scoring position. He's got an batting average against under 100 with them, with runners in scoring position for the season.
Kershaw and Dave Roberts grinding away on something. 2-1.
Kershaw's probably telling Dave Roberts, hey, yeah, you remember yesterday when you pulled me out? I didn't want to. Don't do that again.
Dave said after the game that he considers himself a pretty good listener, and so he wanted to allow Kershaw to make his case when he got out there. Kershaw explained to him, look, you know I've gotten Freddie Freeman all 3 times tonight. Are you sure? You sure you want to do this? That's on the corner, 2-2. And Dave heard him out, but still made the move, and it worked. Kenley Jansen getting Freeman on the first pitch.
I heard you. Good argument. Overruled.
El Bencho.
El Bencho. Give me the ball. Good job.
2-2 on Taylor. Barnes at second and 1 out. Here it comes. Good block by Flowers.
Excellent job by Flowers, moving the body, getting the glove down in between the legs to make sure the hole is covered in between there to keep the glove there so it doesn't scoot through there. Chest, right angle, knock it down.
Now a payoff. Taylor flips it foul. Chris 4 for 10 in this series. Dodgers' second trip to this ballpark, second year of existence, and Taylor's had a couple good series here. Another 3-2. Another foul ball. We've seen both ends of the spectrum as far as pace from Braves pitchers in this series. Anibal Sanchez the first night, one of the fastest workers in baseball. Fried is the Braves' slowest working starter.
His pace seems to slow down even more when there's men on base.
Taylor chases, 2 out.
Taylor chases and upset with himself because he knows he got one out of the zone and chased it. And especially when you look back and you see how far he missed his spot and seeing how far the catcher had to reach for that ball.
And so up to Machado here with 2 out. His walk his last time extended that on base streak to 28 games. Tied with Alex Bregman for the longest active streak in baseball right now. Takes it by the hands, ball 1. Bregman tonight, for whatever it's worth, 0 for 2 so far. On a 1-0, Machado takes ball 2. Three and out. The pitch count for Fried starting to get up there. Again, this is his first start back in the majors after a quick DL stint for a blister.
I'll tell you, even with Matt Kemp on deck, 3-0, your team Machado has the green light. He gets a pitch he likes, swing away.
Ball 4. Waited that extra second to make sure he didn't hear a strike call from Jeff Kellogg. Second Machado walk, 2 on 2 out, and up comes Matt Kemp.
A couple of walks this inning. 6 of the last 9 hitters. Fried has fallen behind. He's got a 1-0 count. But he's been finding a way to get out of it. Managing to put a 0 up there on the board. Even to manage a few strikeouts over the last 9 hitters.
Some pretty dramatic mound visit music.
Yeah. I don't know what the theme is behind it. And isn't it today Christmas in July?
It is.
Another one like we had in Philadelphia. So why weren't they playing Christmas music there for the mound visit?
It's also Groundhog's Day in July.
Well, there you go.
So Fried to Kemp with Wren at first and second and 2 out. He pulled the string with the first one, and it's 0-1.
You know, Kemp is a great fastball hitter. You know, he's an aggressive hitter, especially with runners in scoring position, wants to attack. That was an excellent changeup.
He's kind of gone away from that since the first inning or two, where it was very effective. See what he goes with on 0-1.
It's almost like early on going through the lineup. I don't want to show him my curveball. I know that's my good pitch, my good secondary pitch, my best one, put away one. I'm going to save it if I can, and not have to go to it, and then bring it out.
Now an 0-1 and a fly ball to right center field, and Ciarte on the move to flag it down. The Gold Glover saves at least 1 run, and it remains 1-0.
Yesterday, Clayton Kershaw pitching a gem. 7 2/3 innings of work, plus he got on base all 4 times, 1 for 1 with 3 walks. But it's not just Clayton Kershaw, the pitcher, that's getting it done, guys. Clayton Kershaw, the thoroughbred, the namesake of Clayton, was the morning line favorite today at 8-5 odds in race 4 today at Del Mar Racing Track. Basically, it means he's the most likely winner of this race based on his recent performances, according to the track's resident handicapper, the so-called expert. A low-level race, but really looked like he was the best of the bunch. And, of course, Kershaw, the namesake, won the race.
All right. That's the second Dodger horse to win a race in recent years. There was a Puig horse a while back.
Was it Puig or was it Wild Horse and then in parentheses Puig? No, it probably was Puig.
Yeah. Ender Inciarte leading off this 5th against Alex Wood. And poking one down the line, foul. Yeah, it was a horse named Puig. It was a 32-1 long shot, and it finished 2nd at Del Mar. Puig, your horse.
Puig the horse. The wild horse. It is Yasiel. Great nickname for Yasiel, known by the great Vin Scully.
Perfect. Inciarte pulls one on a bounce to Logan Forsythe, who's had a busy day at 2nd. One away here in the 5th.
What's better than watching baseball and eating Dodger dogs? Well, on Wednesday, August 1st, when the Dodgers host the Brewers, all fans in attendance can purchase $1 Dodger dogs. Buy up to 5 Dodger dogs per person per transaction. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Here's Dansby Swanson. Real name James. Dansby is his mother's maiden name. Goes by Dansby Swanson. And he takes strike 1. Youngest of 3 in his family. His brother played shortstop in college. He had a sister play shortstop softball in college. His dad college baseball, mom college basketball and tennis. Both here in the South at Troy University, which is not too far from Montgomery, Alabama. Dansby, the former 1st overall pick of the draft out of Vanderbilt. That was by the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then he was traded here in the Shelby Miller deal. He made his major league debut after just 127 minor league games. Breaks one foul, and it stays at 0-2. Second full big league year now. And he admitted that some of the expectations of being a top prospect and having the savior billing put on him probably weighed on him some. That's not even to mention that he's a local guy. Grew up in Marietta, Georgia, about 30 minutes from Atlanta. Corkscrews himself into the ground on that swing and a miss, and Wood has back-to-back outs to open the 5th.
We've seen Alex Wood get a couple of strikeouts up at the top of the zone. Swings and misses. A couple of times got the call strike up there. Just changing the hitter's sightline.
Day is done for Max Fried as Michael Reed hits. Fried to Reed and strike 1. So pretty darn good for Fried. Wasn't particularly efficient, but winds up giving up just 1 run on 2 hits over 5 innings. Hoping they can rally with 2 out here to get him off with a hook. And there's support so far. Good looking change. 1-2. There's Luke Jackson warming. Alex Wood gets him to go and has his first 1, 2, 3 inning of the night. Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Nothing like a dog at the ballpark, huh? Welcome inside. Joe Davis and Nomar Garciaparra. With Friday night, Dodger Stadium, Andre Ethier is going to be honored. And what a great thing for a guy, right, who played 12 seasons in the Dodger uniform, didn't really get to have that farewell tour, didn't announce that the retirement would happen until now, and he's going to get one that he deserves Friday.
And he definitely deserves it. I mean, he's been, when you're able to play in the big leagues, first of all, for 10 years, that's an incredible career. Let alone be able to play 12 and with one team your entire career. Been a great Dodger. Go to 8 postseasons with the Dodgers. Congratulations, Andre. And I think it's going to be a great day, a great night, and recommend get there early so you can check out the celebration and honoring Andre Ethier.
And oh yeah, the Houston Astros are in for that one to open a 3-game series. Luke Jackson in the game. He gets Kike Hernandez to chop to short. Swanson had a hard time getting it out of the glove, but did in time for the first out of the 6th. So Jackson replacing Fried with the Dodgers in front 1-0.
Good job still being able to make an accurate throw. It was off just a little bit, but when you're out of rhythm just a hair because you can't get the ball out of your glove, that it throws you off just a little bit, but he still manages to get it over there.
Bellinger, strike 1. Ball on a strike. Jackson with his 4th year in the majors. 2 years with Texas. Now his 2nd year in Atlanta. Originally from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Fires a 1-1. Bellinger watches it miss low. You know, Cody's looking forward to Friday night, Andre Ethier night. Those two had quite a bond. 2-2. It was tough love from Andre. Not a day went by where Andre didn't give Cody a hard time about something. A full count. Do you remember back to Andre's early days in the majors, similar to in Cody's shoes, who it was giving him a hard time?
Well, giving him a hard time, did he ever say that people gave him a hard time early on? But I don't think they gave him a hard time. He was hard on himself, and he was even throughout the rest of his career. But early on, he was really hard on himself. Andre Ethier. He was a guy who hit a line drive and it be out, but it was a good at bat, and he was tearing off his batting gloves, and there was just fire and anger in his eyes. And so it was something that I loved it, because that means he wanted to get a hit each and every time he was at the plate. It was that fire. But he'd have some good intense snaps, and I know what those feel like as well. But like I said, there was always that intensity. But he was also respectful to the veterans. He's always been like that. And I knew him also training together in the offseason too, working out in the same place together. So I got to know him there as well. And I knew how hard he worked and how much he loved the game, and it wasn't just working out in the weight room, but working out in the batting cage and honing in on his craft. And he would pick a veteran's brains as well, so he would ask good questions. So he was always trying to get better.
One on, one out, and a 1-0 to Forsythe drops in for a strike. Logan 0 for 2. Struck out his last time, but his first at bat crushed a line drive that just happened to be right at the center fielder. On this 1-1 from Luke Jackson, it catches the corner. 1-2.
You're right. You were talking about Logan's first at bat where he crushed it to center field. He crushed it, but also it was a good at bat staying inside the ball, and ended up moving Kike over, and it allowed Yasiel Puig to get the sacrifice fly.
I would imagine it's a whole lot easier to take some comfort in it being a good at bat if your overall numbers are a little better than Logan's having to look at, right?
That's what you look. Absolutely. It's about helping your team win. What am I doing to help them win? Not about the numbers. Sometimes you can go 0 for 4, move the runner over 4 times. It's a great day.
One-two. Forsythe swings through it. 2 out. And it brings up Puig. Dave Roberts was asked before the game what Puig's return meant as far as the rotation in the outfield. Said that Puig will get the lion's share of the playing time in right, but that they'll continue to get him off days, continue to rotate guys in at all 3 spots in the outfield. And he also made a point that I thought was really interesting. He said he thinks that part of the reason that the lineup top to bottom has been producing is because of the competition. You better produce or you're not going to be in there.
Well, there's nothing wrong with having that competition. Absolutely. And I think it keeps. It's funny how he always used the word, I want to keep guys relevant and current, and changing the lineup all the time, letting them know they're all important. But at the same time, he also says guys are performing, they're going to be in there, and that's a good thing, because then it also pushes guys not to be complacent and just say, well, I'm going to be in the lineup tomorrow. It's always constantly working and trying to get better.
And there may be people that hear that and say, well, wait a minute. Forsythe's hitting .215 but still playing, as an example. But keep in mind that Logan Forsythe was acquired to be the starting second baseman and is now playing once or twice a week.
Right.
And so it has been, and even in his case, a merit-based system. Here's a 1-1. Puig takes a little bit low.
And then with that, we've seen Max Muncy over there. And Max Muncy, actually, last few games, has had a bit of a struggle. Been having a struggle a little bit. So he's thinking, well, when can I give maybe Max Muncy just almost not just a physical off, but mentally off, just to kind of regroup. And they're facing a lefty today who's been really good against left-handed batters. So it's a good day to do that. Switch it up.
Hunter takes off, and Puig fouls it off. 2-2. Talk about those pitches that come earlier in the at bat that are often the ones that upset you, not the one that actually finishes you off. And the look on Yasiel's face will tell you that that was maybe one of those pitches right there.
There are pitches after games that you go back and now you're trying to kind of recap the game in your head and that you remember, and it's oftentimes the ones you foul off that you believe you should be hitting. Like, oh, remember I missed that pitch, that second pitch, that second strike in my third at bat, fouled it straight back. That's the one. What did I do? How did I miss that? That was the pitch. You see him frustrating himself even on that breaking ball. I hope that was kind of a wince from frustration rather than a wince from did he do something, because we know he's coming off an oblique injury.
Hooks this one to deep left field. Yasiel Puig, it's gone. First game back leaves the yard and extends the lead to 3-0. I think the oblique's okay.
Well, I was going to say, if there's any type of soreness, you don't feel it after that. There's anything you were feeling, but it was a good adjustment. After just missing the curveball, he comes back to it and just throws out the hands, gets the barrel on it. Gosh, he is strong.
My gosh, there was like no effort in that.
He just
swing.
throws the hands. Well, it's the same type of swing that he had driving the ball the other way. It was okay. I thought that was an adjustment. You saw that big swing on the pitch before where he was mad at himself. You take this big swing. It was almost like he told himself, just relax, let the ball come to me, trust my hands, and just throw them at the ball. Relax, throw them. Telling yourself, I'm strong enough, and we saw that. And he just threw that out there, and it hit off the second deck facade.
Now 1-2 on Barnes. Got a piece. Jackson deals another 1-2. This is at the letters. It evens up on Barnes. Dodgers trying to go to 6-3 on this road trip and 16-7 in the month of July. Lead in the division right now is a game and a half. Arizona playing in San Diego again tonight. Rockies hosting Oakland. Rockies 17-5 over the last month. Barnes down on strikes. The inning is over, but not before Yasiel Puig hits home run number 12 of the season at his first night back from the DL. Pitching, the story in this series for the Dodgers. Hill on Thursday night, Kershaw last night, and so far tonight Alex Wood has continued that story.
Well, Alex Wood looks like he's going, I don't want to be left out after watching the past couple of lefty starters going out there and doing an excellent job on the mound, and he's picked up right where they left off.
How about those numbers for the starting staff against Atlanta?
We talked about coming into this game against an Atlanta team that does not strike out a lot, and look at that, 21 strikeouts, 19 2/3, just one run. Yasiel Puig showing off his strength the inning before.
Top of the order, Ronald Acuna, strike one. The Braves 5 runs per game on the season, 3 runs in more than 2.5 games in this series. It's fouled and it's 0-2. One and two. Stopped at third by Manny Machado. Makes it look easy again. And Acuna says, man, I'm ready for you to leave town.
Watch out when you slam the helmet. Those have a tendency to come back at you. Speaking of coming at you, Manny Machado talked about earlier that double play where he just made it look way too easy. Same thing here. Once he snags it, just the calmness after that. A lot of times you can see infielders, when you get it, feel like you have to rush after you laid out, and there's a look of panic. Him, it's like all of a sudden, once he knew he had it, it was all of a sudden the body just said, okay, get back under control. You know you have a rocket of an arm, and just flick that ball right over there.
One out, it's Culberson. He checks on Machado as well. Wrong, got to go after. 2 out. There's a great piece for The Athletic that Pedro Mora wrote this week about Machado and his addiction to improving. Always addressing his weaknesses. Obsessed with the idea of becoming as good defensively at short as he was at third all those years. And Machado told Pedro, I'm not going to be mediocre at anything I do. Eventually, I'll be the best shortstop in the game. And that's just kind of the way that he approaches everything that he does. Bases empty, 2 gone, and Freddie Freeman takes ball 1. Manny started playing chess when he got to the majors. He had never played it before and knew nothing about it when he first arrived. Got beat very quickly anytime he'd play, but it intrigued him, and so he dove in. He started watching YouTube videos on chess. Downloaded the chess app on his phone. Would practice in his downtime, read about strategies. And soon he was the best player in the Orioles clubhouse. 2-1 on Freeman. Would often stay up late into the night when the team was on the road and play teammates in chess. Beat teammates in chess. And he did the same thing with ping pong. First major league spring training wasn't close to as good as the veterans. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Freeman. J.J. Hardy was the best, and so rookie Manny Machado, 19-year-old Manny Machado at that point, went up to Hardy one day after practices were finished and said, hey, you got a minute? Let's go play some ping pong. I want to learn from you. That's in the dirt, and the count is full. Eventually, Manny incorporated about an hour of ping pong into his off-season workouts. And so the next spring training, guess who was the best ping pong player in the Orioles clubhouse? Obsessed with improving and being great at whatever it is that he puts his mind to. 3 ground balls induced by Alex Wood in this inning, but this one turns into an error, and Freeman's aboard to keep it alive.
Well, he gets to it. It's the right man going to it. Right angle by Chris Taylor, especially when you have Logan Forsythe so far in right field because of the shift, and that's one he just misses. He would tell you that's one he knows he has to have. He'll tell you it's one you have to make a play on. And it just looked like it might have hit him a little bit on the heel of the glove, but really didn't go into the web of his glove.
So Markakis gets an opportunity here in the 6th with the Dodgers in front 3-0, and Wood starts him with a strike.
And this is where your pitcher can help out the defense that has been doing so well behind him. Really been making some great plays, turned some double plays behind Alex Wood. We've seen Machado make some fine plays at third. We've seen Logan Forsythe. Okay, there's an error behind you. Try to attack the hitter again, pound the strike zone, and try to get that quick out and get right back at him and just say, hey, doesn't bother us, let's get back to hitting.
JT Chagua on the left, Kendall Ferguson on the right. Woods 1-1. Markakis fouls it off, strike 2. Two and two.
Alex Wood's pitch count, you got 94 pitches. If he gets out of this, this would be his final batter of the game. Most he's thrown is 103 this year. When you look at the 94, 99 maybe if you're going to that max, and you look at the stressful innings that he's had, he's actually been really good the last 3 innings, really settled down, had some quick innings. He would have had another one here.
That one is in the dirt. To second goes Freeman. A full count on Markakis.
Austin unable to get that body in front of that breaking ball, unable to really slide over there. Ends up getting just a shin guard. You know, he'd be mad at himself that he wasn't able to get the center of his body in front of that.
Well, we've been talking about it tonight, but the biggest change for Alex Wood over the last month or so has been his ability to get out of these jams. And it's second, 2 out, 6th inning, 3-0. Wood to Markakis with a payoff pitch. That's inside, and they're at first and second with 2 out. That's going to do it for him. The guy coming up, Tyler Flowers, 2 walks tonight, 7 for 11 in his career against Wood. And you know that Chris Taylor is feeling sorry. Alex Wood coming out of the game. JT Chagua coming on. Baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Infinity. Empower the drive.
Coming into the game to pick up Alex Wood as we look at his line, 5 2/3, not allowing a run, just 1 hit. That the runners on base are on him if they come around and score, but they would be unearned because they're only out there because of an error, and it's up to JT Chagua to pick up both of his teammates, not just Alex Wood, but also to pick up the shortstop Chris Taylor, because you know he feels awful after making that mistake and then eventually getting Alex Wood out of this game.
Chagua has been very good since coming back from the minors. 7 appearances since, and he's given up just 1 run. 2 on, 2 out in a 3-0 game in the 6th, and Tyler Flowers climbs in. Strike 1. Wood, who has had his fair share of struggles against his old team, as we've talked about. Hoping that Chagua can preserve that line and hold on to this 3-0 lead. A ball and a strike on Flowers. Rides in on him, and he can't lay off. 1-2.
Looked like it almost backed up a little bit on J.T. Chagua. It's one of the best pitches. Not that you meant to do it, but when it's so effective, it swings like that.
The 1-2 breaks off a slider to get him. And Chagua able to bail out Wood and Taylor to keep the Dodgers in front 3-0.
Fans, be at Dodger Stadium on Monday, July 30th, and welcome Manny Machado to Los Angeles when the Dodgers return home to face the Milwaukee Brewers in a 4-game series. Don't miss the excitement of Machado's debut at home. Purchase your tickets today at Dodgers.com/tickets.
Peter Moylan, second game of this series for him. Dodgers 3, Braves nothing. 7th inning. And Moylan to face a pinch hitting Chase Utley.
Tossed a scoreless inning in his first appearance. Back from the disabled list, back on the 23rd at Miami.
Utley's been one of the most effective pinch hitters in the National League this year. Couple veterans going at it. Moylan whips it up there, ball 1. Fly foul. Camargo's out of room. Hey, so this is kind of a somber thing, but we were talking about the horse Puig. Did you hear about the fires that happened this winter?
Yep.
In Orange County. Puig was one of the horses that was lost in those fires.
Wow.
Two and one on Utley. 30 horses training at the Downs where the huge fire happened, and 15 of them perished. 2 and 1. And Utley takes ball 3.
Well, you can still see the wild horse here.
immediately takes a low strike, and the count is full. I guess that number actually went up. That the 15 I mentioned, that was the initial count. Before it was all finished, there were a lot more than that. Rolled to short, backhand stab Swanson, and Utley the first out of the 7th. Dodgers 3, Braves nothing. 7th inning here in Atlanta as the Dodgers trying to take the first 3 games of this series, clinch a winning road trip. All 3 runs tonight have been driven in by Puig in his first game back from the DL. And 1 in the 2nd on a sac fly, and then a 2-run homer in the 6th for Yasiel. Chris Taylor takes ball 1. Look out. Three balls, no strikes on Taylor. Hey, we need to send congratulations to Jordan Hershiser as Taylor takes ball 4.
Yes, we do.
Oral's youngest son married today.
Congratulations, Jordan.
Congratulations to Jordan and his wife, Alex. Oral away on this road trip, getting ready for the wedding. We'll be back on Monday. Congratulations. Jordan is basically a late 20s version of his dad. All the same mannerisms. Machado, 1-on-1 out, has walked each of his last 2 times.
I don't know if Jordan wants to think that way.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Pitched at USC, pitched in the minors for a while. Backs up on Moylan, and ball 1 on Machado. Boy, I think pulled up into the zone by Flowers, and it's 1-1.
Let me look on PitchCast. It looked like it ended up falling out of the zone, but he gets a call. But Kellogg's been consistent down there during this game, calling those pitches in that area.
Jammed to right, base hit. Taylor headed first to third, and the Dodgers have them cornered with 1 out. Machado aboard for the 3rd time in this one.
Good job staying inside a ball that is sinking in and running in on your hands. You can see that by Moylan. You can see where that ball started in the zone and kept going into Machado's hands. But to really fight and stay inside and fight that off to get a single the other way. And not only getting a single, but the base running by Chris Taylor. I mean, he was hustling on that, recognized that ball right away. He was thinking third all the way. And that's big when you have a guy like Matt Kemp coming up who knows how to handle the bat and is looking to get that sacrifice fly.
Strike one. And it seems like the last few days, as this road trip has gone on, the Dodgers have done a better job of situational hitting.
You're right. They have. And I think even we saw that in yesterday's game. There was some hustle. There was some clutch hitting with two outs by Clayton Kershaw. But before that, it definitely produced a run. We even touched on it. That just kind of gets overlooked, some of the just at bats that were huge in order to move guys over. You know, today we saw that. It was a fly out by Logan Forsythe, but I think him staying inside the ball was a deep fly ball, and Kike getting to third, eventually coming around. Productive outs. They've had more productive outs the last few games.
It's 0-2 on count. Moylan delivers to the backstop. Taylor stop and start and stop. And Machado to second.
Well, Taylor's going to be upset with himself because he didn't go on this ball, and it goes all the way to the backstop. That's one when you're mad at yourself, going, "Gosh, I should have scored on that ball and come home." But if you don't get a good jump and you hesitate, then there's a chance you get thrown out, and then you're making two mistakes on it rather than saying, "Okay, I already made a mistake. Let me stay here." And especially when you have a guy like Matt Kemp up there at home plate,
who on 1-2 lines it back to Moylan, and a double play to finish the inning. Can't hit it much harder than that. Kemp and his old teammate come together playfully.
Yeah.
Crowd looked at that and didn't like it,
but they didn't. But he was going over there going, "Wow, you robbed me, but you robbed me because you were just saving yourself." He was smiling. Even Moylan was smiling as he was coming off.
Double switch here in the 7th inning. Jock Peterson into the game in left field. You can slot him into the pitcher's spot. But the pitcher's spot third, where Kemp was hitting. And Caleb Ferguson, who went 2 scoreless innings against Philadelphia to finish that series off with 4 Ks. This is with his first one to Johan Camargo. But Nomar, this guy's been a revelation out of the bullpen for the Dodgers.
He's looked really good, looked really solid coming out of the bullpen. I think early on when he was starting, I think if there's an acclimation period going to the big leagues, there's some nerves you're battling. And I think once he understood he was going to be here and stay, but maybe didn't know whether he was going to be starting all the time in the rotation. But even coming out of the bullpen, I think that's helped him an awful lot. I think also coming out of the bullpen has helped him in a sense where he might be looking for just maybe an inning or two from me. It's not me going deep in the game as a starter, and I can go out there and let my stuff play at this level and go out there and attack the hitters.
7 games out of the bullpen. He's got a 1 ERA. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Camargo. And those aren't short stints. 18 innings. His ERA is 1. His 1-2 again. That's ball 2 on Camargo. 6, 7, and 8 for the Braves in this 7th inning. Alex Wood 6 innings tonight, continuing the stellar starting pitching in this series. Full count. Ferguson's payoff.
Thinking back to that last inning for the Dodgers on the offensive side, CT not able to score on that pass ball, and you're thinking, okay, Matt Kemp will come through and he squares it up, and then you're going, great, I get doubled up because just unlucky with that ball. It's a tough one.
And you know, I said situational hitting's been better lately as far as productive outs. It has, but tonight they're 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Camargo really making Ferguson work.
Yeah, 0 for 7, but it still goes back to some of the other little things that have mattered. And I go back to that ball to center field, and then you also, I mean, Chris Taylor doing an excellent job on the bases to get the first and third that last inning. Just made a mistake not scoring on that pass ball.
On the 10th pitch, Camargo down the line and gone.
For that ball down and away. You can see where Austin Barnes was set up, and we can see on pitch catch where that clearly goes down the middle. He just extends the arms, brushes it to left.
And so a 3-1 game as Ender Inciarte climbs in and takes ball 1. Camargo's 11th of the season. It's 1-1. One and 2. Fly ball to left field. Jock Peterson positioned well for this one. Now this park gives up fewer home runs than any park in baseball. Each team has one tonight. There have been 6 in the 2.5 games in this series.
It gives up the fewest, but you also have a team coming in that has the most in the National League, and the Dodgers.
That's a good
So
point.
you're thinking, okay, they've relied on the long ball a lot this year. They have a lot of guys who are swinging the bat and swinging the bat well and can drive it a long way. And the way they hit them, I don't know if many ballparks really are holding the Dodgers in.
Dansby Swanson bunts it in the air foul. Pitcher spot due next. Ozzie Albies. For now, the 24-year-old Dansby Swanson. And the veteran manager Snitker. Nice looking curve, 0-2. Mentioned Dansby from nearby Marietta, 30 minutes from Atlanta. Grew up a Braves fan. Said his dream was to be a Brave, and then that trade made it happen. Takes a ton of pride in being from Atlanta, and now he gets to live with 3 of his best friends from high school. Share a place not too far from the ballpark. Chase is here for strike 3, 2 out in the 7th.
This was a really good curveball by Caleb Ferguson. Starting off as a strike, but there was just such a big break. And the type of break, that back foot breaking ball, tough to lay off as a pitcher, as a hitter when you got 2 strikes. And when you, even if you recognize the break, you don't expect it to go and break that much, and especially underneath the hands. Hard to make contact. You're hoping you can just foul that pitch off.
Good ovation for the 21-year-old All-Star Ozzie Albies, who looks at strike 1 on the corner. Albies getting tonight off out of the starting lineup. He had missed the last week prior to this series with hamstring tightness that he felt pop up in the first game of the second half. Muscles a base hit to right center, and the Braves get the tying run to the plate here in the 7th.
Talked about how well Caleb Ferguson has been pitching. Gives up the home run, and he comes back with a big strikeout. Now he finds himself just going out there having to battle. One good thing is he hit a spot in that pitch, that fastball. They wanted it up and in. He gets it there. Sometimes you tip your hat to the hitter who's able to muscle it out, still stay inside the ball, and get a base hit. Didn't find the barrel, but it found some outfield grass.
3-1 game, and at the plate is the powerful rookie Acuna. It is 9th home run of the season, first night of this series. On the first one from Ferguson, he takes ball 1. Tonight he's 0 for 2. Curve for strike 1. That's ball 2. The rookie Ferguson against the rookie Acuna. Albies leaning at first. Not running as Acuna drags a bouncing ball to third for Manny Machado, and the inning is over. Braves get on the board with a solo shot from Camargo, and after 7 innings, it's 3-1. Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
All right, thanks, Joe. Alex Wood trying to win his 6th consecutive decision. He looked great tonight, Ned, and so did Yasiel Puig in his return.
Alex Wood proving you can go home again. Pitched tremendous tonight.
All right, we'll see you guys right after the game. Dodgers trying to get a series win.
All right, gentlemen, some defensive changes to report. Ozzie Albies, after pinch hitting, stays in at second. Charlie Culberson slides over to short. And into the game to pitch is Dan Winkler. 28-year-old from Illinois delivers to Kike Hernandez and is at the top of the zone with strike one.
Really effective against right-handed batters this year. Has limited them to just a 168 average against.
First full major league season for him. Had a few opportunities each of the last 3 years, but his first time sticking. Two and two.
Dodgers really looking to get some insurance runs here. It could be big if they can get one. Obviously, they got one got away from them that last inning. With the line drive double play off of Matt Kemp's bat. And then the wild pitch before, not being able to score on that or not scoring on that. I think it's huge, and Caleb Ferguson, Dave Roberts brings him in and does this double switch because he plans on Caleb Ferguson to possibly go 2 innings.
Because Ferguson is still so young and they're being as careful as they can with his arm, and he needs a few days between each outing, when they do use him, they like to make sure they get their money's worth. Hernandez strikes out swinging for the first out of the 8th. And so ideally, yeah, you are going to get at least 2 innings out of him. Because regardless, he's going to be down for a few days after. With one away in the 8th, the hitter is Bellinger. He's been hit tonight. He walked and he scored on the Puig homer. Strike one. Ball and a strike. One more game in this series and one more game on this 10-game trip. It's Ross Stripling for the Dodgers and Sean Newcomb for the Braves. 1:35 here in Atlanta. That's 10:35 Pacific time. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Let's take a look at the Dodger calendar presented by Nissan. Beyond that, 4-game series with Milwaukee. Manny Machado's Dodger Stadium debut Monday. And then a rematch of the World Series started on Friday night. Houston Astros come in. That's the night where Andre Ethier will be honored pregame. Right now it looks like Justin Verlander is set to start that first game the way that it lines up.
I was just saying, you're talking about it's going to be Moustakas and the Brewers coming in for the series now. Is that what they're saying in the headline?
Yeah. Bellinger able to lay off 2-2. They also have Thames back from the DL since the Dodgers last saw them. Eric Thames, maybe the most NFL-like major leaguer out there right now. Body type.
Yeah.
Full count.
He's one of those guys that, I mean, when we were watching him take batting practice, he's going out there. So there's guys who have muscles, and then there's guys who have muscles you didn't know existed in your body, or it looks like there's muscles that are on top of other muscles.
Right.
That's Thanos.
Muscles with muscles. Puig's got some of those.
Yes.
Winkler home with a payoff, and Bellinger strokes a line drive the other way that Acuna makes the catch on 2 gone. Logan Forsythe looking for his first hit tonight. Nothing in 1. Going to. Couldn't lay off. 1, 2, 3/8 for Winkler to the bottom half. 3-1. Company. Alex Wood 5 2/3 scoreless innings tonight, continuing on what Hill and Kershaw have done to start this series. And Puig in his first game back has knocked in all 3.
Well, it looks like Yasiel Puig was going, I miss you guys. You guys have been playing so well since I've been gone, but I want to go out there and contribute. Sacrifice fly, 2-run home run. And Alex Wood also felt like he wanted to get into the fun after seeing 2 lefties before him pitch gems.
Ferguson 1 pitch, 1 out. Is Culberson? No, never mind. They say Bellinger wasn't on the bag.
Fielded there.
Oh, he
just dropped it. Yeah, no, everything fine. I was like, no, he was there, and he just missed it. Hit him kind of like the heel of the glove, but they didn't go out there and stick. No, E3.
Second Dodger error tonight. This one comes in front of Freddie Freeman, who now represents the tying run. One of the best hitters in baseball against left-handed pitching. Fouls off the first offering from Ferguson. And already just has that kind of game that has us sitting on pins and needles with all the missed opportunities the Dodgers have had offensively. 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. And then you crack the door open a little bit more for Atlanta with that error to start the inning. Quickly 0-2 on Freeman. Daniel Hudson. Kenley Jansen went 4 outs last night. Not available for more than an inning. Line drive that's stabbed by Taylor.
Freddie Freeman staying on this breaking ball after falling behind. And just kind of stay on that and just uses the hands, throws the barrel at it, and hits a rocket. A great placement by the Dodgers and a great snag by Chris Taylor. I was just impressed at approach by Freeman there. He's such a tough out. He's going to battle, and it doesn't matter righty or lefty on the mound. And here's another one. Same thing.
And Markakis, who takes ball 1. Yeah, the folks that lead the game planning for the Dodgers would tell you that Freddie Freeman is one of the hardest guys in baseball to game plan how to attack.
Because he hits everything.
Right. Ferguson deals 1-0. Markakis takes strike 1. One in the second for the Dodgers. 2 in the 6th. Braves getting their first run last inning. Now 1-2 on the All-Star Markakis. Ferguson trying to pitch around the air that opened the inning. Soft ground ball up the middle. Forsythe has it. Steps on the bag. Throws to first, but not in time.
I'm going to have a look at that. He called him safe. I wasn't sure if it was because he beat it or they pulled him off just a little bit. But I didn't think he came off the bag at all. Good job there. But I don't know if his toe might have been off the bag as he went to catch that. This is a good job by Logan Forsythe on the run, throwing it. We're going to have a better look here.
Dodgers are going to challenge.
Well, the ball beats him. There's no question. I think the question is his foot on the bag. And it looked like his toe still stayed on there in that angle.
I think it might have come off, but
right.
I think it also got back down
right.
before Markakis got there. Just from that last angle. Maybe a good look here. Toe is
off a little bit.
Off.
Gets back down there before he hits on it, so they call him out.
They do. It's a double play to finish the inning. Third one the Dodgers have turned tonight, sending us to the 9th. 2-run home run just for the little flip of the hands.
Well, he fouls off a curveball on the pitch before, and he kind of had a look on his face like, how did I miss that? Well, he also made the adjustment by getting the next one, hitting a 2-run home run. Oblique seems to be okay.
Sam Freeman is on to pitch this 9th inning.
Came in the first game of this series, pitched a third of an inning, allowed 2 hits, and gave up a run.
Braves will have 5, 6, and 7 due up in the bottom of the 9th against Kenley Jansen. Puig takes strike 1. There's some interesting comments from Dave Roberts before the game about how while the Puig was out, the Dodgers kept winning, and Dave said not a bad reminder for Yasiel. Goes back to a discussion about the competition internally. Oh, we don't like the reaction on that. Guess you never really know with him though, in his reactions.
I don't know if it's aches and pains or if it's frustration. That one I'm frustrating that he ended up fouling that ball off. He has been moving around an awful lot in that torso.
That is in the seats. We'll do it again.
And with oblique injuries, yeah, we saw him injured on a swing. A lot of times where you also feel it in the oblique is on the check swing when you're really trying to hold up. And that's when it really grabs you.
Which is hard to simulate when you're rehabbing.
Yeah, when you're rehabbing, it's not like you're practicing. Go, how about you just work on a check swing? Here, let's do some soft toss. Toss it to me in the in the cage, and I'm just gonna hold up.
It's almost like with each swing, he's like checking.
Right. Watch him wince though here too.
It's as if he's trying to convince himself that he's healed. He's worked the count full. Barnes and Peterson to follow. Dodgers 3, Braves 1. Dave Roberts obviously seeing the same things we are. While also probably thinking the same thing that we just said out loud, which is you never kind of know with Puig. There's always a lot of movement. The payoff pitch, and he walks to open this 9th.
There'll be some questions after the game asking, is he okay?
Barnes has a walk tonight. Struck out his other 2 times. But a big drop off in his offense this year, but the defense continues to be just what you're looking for out of a backup catcher. Framing ability elite. Kenley Jansen is ready. Trying to get his second save in his mini nights. Bottom of the zone, 1-1.
I'm laughing to myself because now he's moving his legs around like there's some issue with the legs. Yasiel, you just never know.
2-1. Punching that hip flexor. Yeah. When your muscles got muscles, it just takes some extra movement to get them all ready to fire. Just high, and 3-1 on Barnes.
You know, PitchCast has this catch in the top of the zone. But we've seen over the course of this game the consistency of home plate Jeff Kellogg giving up that top part, but giving a little bit at the bottom part and calling that on a consistent basis, just off the bottom part of the zone.
Stays consistent with it.
It's already seen those two pitches already in just this at bat at the bottom part of the zone that he called. The 2 strikes on Austin have been right there. So as a hitter, that's what you're talking about in the dugout. Like, okay, at least you know, and he's consistent with it, that he's going to be calling that one, and I can look at the ones up and maybe lay off those.
He was running with a pitch. It was bang foul. Kellogg, a really good reputation as an umpire. He's done 5 World Series. Native of Coldwater, Michigan.
Yes, and not only is he consistent with his calls and special, but you can talk to him too. He's very easy to talk to and respectful, and the respect goes both ways, both players and umpire with him. And you even saw today, we saw a couple guys turn to him, kind of asking questions and cordial, and it wasn't like he was angry, taking off the mask like you're questioning him. He's definitely respectful, will listen and talk to you back in a respectful manner.
Freeman has thrown over there 4 times. Puig dancing around. Not running this time, and that's back-to-back walks to start Freeman's night. Pitching coach Chuck Hernandez out. And the Dodgers last night walked 7 times. It was their most in a month. They've walked 7 times again tonight.
3 of those 7 last night. Clayton Kershaw.
That's it. Jock Peterson getting ready to hit for the first time this evening. He came on in a double switch last inning. There's that dramatic mound visit music again. from like the
I don't-
Tron
I'm
soundtrack.
I'm trying to figure out and trying to decipher what it's from and why. It's the same thing, so there's got to be a reason, right?
I guess I'm jacked up for this at bat now.
I thought it's because after they played Young Jock for you.
That gets me going too. Peterson shows bunt, takes one of the dirt. Good stop by Flowers.
Another really good stop. Great technique by Flowers, putting that big body in front of that one.
He is a big dude, huh?
That's small. Wow. And he couldn't pick off Puig at first, so now he's thinking about trying to pick him off at second.
Just staying consistent. Ball on a strike. Two on, nobody out in the ninth inning, and Jock Peterson slashes one to left field that Acuna is going to lunge and get for out number one.
Well, for Jock, squared around, about sacrifice, trying to move him over. And then he gets a ball where he can't really handle to pull the other way because you're trying, to pull the ball to go to the right side. That's what you're looking for. He hits it to the left, and that was a fine play by Acuna out in left field. But still, even if you don't sacrifice, you're still looking for a pitch that you can handle to at least go to the right.
Top of the order. And Chris Taylor is due to check on Puig. Strike one. Well, that line out from Peterson. The Dodgers have this 3-1 lead despite 0 for 8 with men in scoring position. Got another chance here with Puig at second, Barnes at first, and Chris Taylor taking a ball. Strike two.
You said last inning how important getting an insurance run is. His last couple in that last inning, especially with, you knew Caleb Ferguson was going to go out there for a couple of innings, go back out there, try to help him out. You're handing it over to Kenley, but also for Kenley, he's coming in this game as you saw him warming up. Getting him some insurance runs would be huge.
Puig saying,
I'm not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere, Sam. Taylor grounds one through for a base hit and provides some insurance here in the ninth as Puig comes in to score. Dodgers 4, Braves 1.
That's picking up your team right there on that big clutch hit by Chris Taylor, and especially after you go back thinking about the air that he had and how bad he felt, and then also think about the base running when he was on third base and not scoring from third on that wild pitch, and how awful he felt going, okay, I just caught this run, and then there was a double play right after that. So those things are all going through your mind, and then you're going, now I'm coming up, here's a chance to pick up my team, and he comes through.
Of the 3 Tommy John surgeries we talked about last night. First guy ever to make it back to the majors after 3 of them. Second game back with the Braves where he started his career.
We were just talking about how great it is to see him back out there on the mound. The perseverance, the love, what it takes mentally to go through that. And then back in the Braves uniform.
In a tough spot here with 2 on and 1 out, and Manny Machado has already got a couple walks and a single tonight.
Austin Barnes was looking to get a great jump there and steal third. He was really off the bag. They had to yell at Venters to step off the mound and look.
Machado with a bullet, base hit to left center. A screamer that'll bring home Barnes. And the Dodgers lead at 5-1 as Taylor and Machado delivered back-to-back RBI hits.
He doesn't waste any time. The ball over the middle of the plate and just stays on it and just takes it right back up the middle. We were talking about how he plays defense, like there's a calmness to him when he plays defense, and he's so relaxed. It's the same thing at home plate when he steps in the batter's box. There's a calmness to him at the batter's box. He's relaxed. He knows what he's trying to do. He realizes, I'm trying to get a pitch over the plate if I get it, but I'm going to stay through it, through the ball, to drive it. Just thinking about the gaps, not thinking about pulling off and hitting it a long way, just staying through it. Great at bat.
Max Muncy will pinch hit here and get a hit. Looks like he avoided anything disastrous there. The base is loaded.
Back of the arm there. No. He missed this spot by a lot. They wanted it around, and I don't know if he was just upset. I mean, that was, it looks bad. It always looks bad after a pitcher gives up a run in the very first pitch. You hit a batter.
Bad optics, as they say. Hernandez with the bases loaded. Takes ball 1. to the speed off of the bat on Machado's hit, 110 miles an hour. Major league average is 88. Anything above 95 gets classified as hard hit. 110. Machado has more balls this year that he's hit considered hard than he does swings and misses.
110 considered a rocket.
Yeah, that falls under that column.
That fall under that if you don't catch it right, it goes through your glove and you might have a hole in your web.
Might not want to try to catch it. 1 and 2.
Let it slow down a little bit.
Center fielder can take that one. Well, Kenley Jansen has taken a seat. Eric Goodell has started to warm. The Dodgers opening this thing up a little bit. On a 1-2 to Kike Hernandez. Venters to the bottom of the zone to get him.
Oh, what did we say before? Especially with Austin Barnes, he's been consistent down there in the zone. Kike doesn't like it. Pitch cast shows that it's catching the corner there, and sometimes tip your hat because that was a perfect pitch. It's hard to only hope as a hitter is if you can possibly foul that ball off. But like I said, home plate umpire at least has been very consistent calling that ball right there.
Bellinger looking for his first hit tonight. This wouldn't be a bad spot for it. Try and put this one on ice. Look out in the dugout. Hit by a pitch and walk, so he's been on a couple times and scored in the Puig homer. One on one. Strike two. Bases loaded, ninth inning, and a 2-2 to Cody Bellinger. Got him to chase and end the inning. But the Dodgers get a couple of big insurance runs provided by Taylor and Machado. Goodell comes into the game trying to finish it off with a 5-1 lead.
Holding batters to just a .202 average this season. Just tossed a scoreless relief in 23 of his 27 games this season.
Over from the Seattle Mariners early on this year. Yeah, no face Flowers, Camargo, and Inciarte. Looking across the division tonight, Rockies have a 4-1 lead on the A's in the bottom of the 4th inning, trying to get their 18th win out of their last 23 games. Best in baseball over the last calendar month.
I mean, here you are, the Dodgers, they're playing really well, so they're trying to get some separation in the division from both them and the D-backs. Here they are, they're all playing good baseball. So we were talking about this the other day. We're like, they're not just going to run away with this one. Those guys are going to stick around, and that's okay. It's good down the stretch to be not only to get to that postseason.
Arizona tied with San Diego, 6th inning at Petco Park. Starting the night, Dodgers led Arizona by a 1.5. They led Colorado by 2. And then there's the Giants, headed in the different direction. That's breaking ball for a strike. Giants have lost 3 in a row in 7 of 9 and trail 6-0 in the 5th to Milwaukee. Now the Brewers, since the Dodgers beat them 2 of 3 this past weekend, have won 4 of 5. Goodell makes quick work of Flowers. If the Brewers are able to hang on in that game just like that, they'll be back within a half game of the Cubs in the Central.
A lot of close races going on down the stretch. I mean, here we are at the end of July. And toward the end of July, see if it carries over. So you can see if it carries over. This would be an interesting month. You can see if August, if it stays this way, because it'll make for a really exciting September.
It'll be August on Wednesday. Big curve, strike 1. Lone run in this game came on a Camargo homer. Soft little pop fly. Manny Machado and the Braves down to their final out. How about the Dodger pitching in this series, Nomar?
Starting pitching has been outstanding. Bullpen has come in and done a tremendous job as well. They have been great. They have been putting up the zeros. They have been getting strikeouts too against a team that we keep talking about. Swings the bat often, but doesn't strike out a whole lot. Just 1 earned run in this series by the 3 starting pitchers combined.
Inciarte on the first pitch. It's a flare, short center. Hernandez is there, and that's that. And a complete 5-1 win for the Dodgers tonight, who have taken the first 3 games of this series.
Great game by the Dodgers. Obviously, Alex Wood doing an unbelievable job. We were just talking about that from a pitching standpoint, once again setting the tone. But I thought the Dodger offense doing a great job late in the game. Still not giving up, swinging the bats, not sitting on just, okay, a 3-run lead is going to be okay. Taking advantage, some walks, some poor pitching from the bullpen from the Braves side, and putting up some more runs. Good win all around.
Alex Wood able to solve his demons against his old team. He's our Lexus player of the game. 5 2/3 shutout innings, and he gives up just 1 hit. In fact, total tonight, Wood, Chagua, Ferguson, and Goodell combined to hold the Braves to only 3 hits. They've won 3 in a row. They are 6-3.